What's up? This is Rick Thorne, the Biker in Black, and you're tuned in to WWS. That's a magazine for the young, rich, and famous. Yeah! I wish I was one of the above. Yeah, I grew up in Kansas City, Missouri, Midwest kid. Started riding bikes when I was 12, and moved to California back in '97, and now I'm up in LA. So I just follow my heart, you know, and my passions with bike riding, which led to a lot of other things, from movies to music to radio. And really, I moved to California to follow my dreams. Midwest kid trying to make it happen, you know. Well, I picked bike riding when I was younger, I think, because I wanted to get out of the house, and it was the easiest way for me to, like, you know, growing up at times it was rough. I grew up with just my mom, and for a long time, and I think it was a way for me to vent my aggressions, you know. I've been pretty much, you know, growing up, I didn't do any drugs, and I still don't. I didn't drink, you know, from 17 to 27, and my art of rebellion was riding a bike. And to me, riding, I really can't tell you how it happened, but just ever since we were kids, we rode, and it was a way for me to get out and just run, maybe run from problems, or run from, you know, family life, or just try to feel free. And I just felt like when I was 12 and I started riding quarter pipes and transitions, that was what really made me feel alive the most. And even to this day, I put on my headphones and I'll go bomb on the street for an hour. And I use it more for like cardio exercise, but also reminds me back when I was that 12-year-old out riding around and stuff. But really, honestly, I could not tell you. Like, I think it was just a means to an ends for me, just to get out of the house, and that was the quickest way to do it.
Okay.
You know? No, I mean, I never thought that riding would get me to as far as I've gotten. You know, there's a big controversy within the sports at times about the media coverage it gets from television and whatnot. But that same media coverage has also helped the sports grow and expand. And it's your road, whether you want to take it and be the hardcore kid or be a mainstream cat and go to the X Games. It's really up to your own self what you want to do. But personally, myself, I never thought it would get this far, but at the same time, I never gave up. You know what I mean? Like, I'd always set goals. I found something I loved to do. I tried to quit. There was a time where I was paying for all my medical bills, ways to contests, bike parts, living in my parents' basement, riding my bike to work, to bus tables. And I wanted to give up, like straight up, but the reality is that I love it too much. Well, for me, with the sponsorships, it's been like, you know, you build up a resume of things that you've done through your career. You bust your ass, you go and you compete. You're a guy that's reliable in shows, that's good at what he does, that you know, is approachable by other people, that's good with the kids. There's a number of things besides just getting a check from a sponsor. For me, like with Monster, I did a show called Monster Garage. Excuse me. Me and Tony Hawk for Jesse James. And that show was sponsored by Monster Energy, so a rep came out and I pursued it. Famous, I've been friends with Travis. Like, I met Travis back when he was in the band, the Aquabats, years ago. And we've kind of run across each other's paths, and over time, he sought me out and he asked me to ride for him. And then we became a lot, you know, we're all family now. We became better friends and, you know, real good homies. But I think really I've had a good personality along the way that's been good with kids, and that I've proven myself to always become better and get better and strive my best to promote my sponsors as well as I can. I think one of the most painful setbacks was I came up short on this gap when I lived in St. Louis, Missouri, and I hit the corner of a loading dock. And it was stupid, man. It was a stupid gap. I was in a stupid frame of mind. To be quite honest with you, I was not focused. And I hit the corner of the loading dock with my face, and I broke my palate. And what happened to the result of that was I deviated my septum, and I had this fluid leaking down the back of my throat. So they cut my head from ear to ear, pulled my skin down, right? Took some fat from my stomach, and clogged this leak between my brain and my skull. So it was leaking down the back of my throat. I had a hairline crack and a break, so I have screws and a plate here. And then the break went from here to here, and I have plates and screws right here. So they lifted my face. I had a tracheotomy. I lost all sense of taste and smell at the time, but it came back, and I had double vision for 2 weeks at a hematoma for it. So I still have the screws in my face and stuff, and I think that was the most, like, life-threatening. I never really feel like, oh, if I roll in this time, this could be my last time, because it probably will. I just kind of shrug it off, man, and keep going. You know, I have a philosophy, if you want to compare it, and it's kind of you might think it's a cheesy comparison, but if you back your car out right here and you get stuck in a trench or a ditch, you can't get out, you're either going to call AAA or pull it out yourself and keep on going. the same kind of attitude I have with that, you know, like if I get hurt, you just keep going. I know what I'm up against. I know what the sport is about. You know, I'm not naive to it after all these years. So, no, I never say like, you know, oh, this is my last day today, because I just told myself that, and then it probably will be. You know, so no, I never say that. Well, a lot of my friends ride, and a lot of my friends are crazy as well. So, you know, it's all part of the game. My parents, I definitely drove nuts growing up, but I also knocked out my teeth. That's another one. But no, I mean, they don't. I think it's people that don't understand the sport. You know, I mean, I think I see people kill themselves daily without even doing anything. You know what I mean? So to me, I really don't care what anybody says. You know, people are going to say what they want to say. I started the band Good Guys in Black with my homie Alan Vega last December in '07, and I've been wanting to be in a band forever, dude. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, ever since I was just a little kid, listening to Meatloaf, you know, Cats in the Cradle or whatever. And I'd been on the Warped Tour for years, been around musicians, hip hop artists, rock and roll, interviewed so many dudes because I've done TV forever. Rock and roll bands, punk rock bands, hip hop bands, and it's just so closely related to the lifestyle that we live as in action sports is a rock and roll lifestyle. But what I needed for me in music was another way to express myself differently than what I've done with riding, because the two are day and night. Like in riding, it's about aggression, it's about your tricks, it's about adrenaline, and in music, the way I like to perform is just like from the gut. It's feelings, it's emotions, it's facing things that you don't normally like want to face and say. But there's a level of freedom that I get that the action sports community doesn't allow. Okay? At least in the BMX world. And I got so frustrated with not being able to fully, openly express myself as an individual with the personality that God gave me, that in music I can, because it's a much wider range of an audience. And I love to perform. I'm a theatrical person. Here's the deal. Is it easy to make it in BMX? It depends on what you want to do. To be sponsored, to make it in the X Games? No, it ain't easy. Because basically, here's what you're up against. I'm speaking from a BMX perspective, and things are changing. But it's kind of hard to find places to ride because you get kicked out all the time. Let's find out. You can only mail order your bike parts. There's very few limited stores. The magazines really ain't on the newsstands like they used to be. Reality is, in anything you do in BMX, you'll see it on TV, you can make it, okay? You can make anything you want to do, but it's hard in bike riding because it's a smaller industry, and there's not as many, and not to sound like a pessimistic, but there's not as many opportunities only for the people that have made it at this point. To make it there, you can do it. You gotta eat it, breathe it, live it. I believe anybody can do anything they want to do, but you can get discouraged because you get hurt, you ain't making any money, you're still working a job, you're doing whatever you gotta do to get by, and you're grinding and you're grinding and you're grinding just to get that photo in the magazines, or just to get your video up on Vital BMX or whatever it is, trying to make a name for yourself, trying to be accepted into the sport, trying to, you know, my only gripes with BMX is it should get off of itself, and it only makes it harder for everyone else. Yeah, I dress differently, so what? Yeah, I've worked for everything I have, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm tattooed, so what? Like, BMX, and you opened up a can of worms right now, so I'm gonna spit it. BMX is so one-dimensional in a way that it's now just finally starting to open up. It's okay to be in hip-hop. It's okay to be in punk rock. It's okay to be in rock and roll. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to be in the X Games, because we have enough things working against us already. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is everyone so quick to switch, but they're willing to shit on their fellow bike riders? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. And so the way it's very competitive, because it stems from like maybe a race background or something, but it's a sport that like needs to really open up itself to different styles and different attitudes and personalities. There ain't one person running the show, we're all running it. You know what I mean? There ain't no one person, why everybody gotta try to be the top dog or this or be that one guy, or what? There's room for everybody.